Hello, everybody. It's Monday, March 18th, early afternoon. And this afternoon, I want to discuss how to deal with difficult people. And these techniques can be, are what I've learned and been taught, can be used with family, with friends, strangers on the road, at the grocery store, at the movies, at the gym, the bus stop or subway, wherever you are. And some of the techniques will involve things I've discussed in my previous videos. Um, the one thing I've learned the most is it's not worth it. And in this day and age, you never know who's armed with some sort of weapon. No matter who you are, it's not worth it. That's the most important piece of advice I can give you in any scenario. Um, and sometimes I've been guilty of letting my ego get the better of me. And especially on the road, there's a lot of road rage, people tailgating, cutting in and out, cutting you off, not letting you in, even if you're being polite, signaling, waiting. Um, and the best thing to do is just let them go. For example, if you have family members that you've learned have prejudices around you and your partner for whatever reason, just let them carry on. Just let them babble. Uh, as long as you know yourself, and as long as hopefully your immediate family, your parents, and your partner's parents are both happy with the relationship, that's great. But if other people aren't, too bad. And if they're not, well, I don't really have experience with that, so I can't really say. But hopefully things can work out and not, you know, offend cultures or family members, etc. Um, the other thing I could say is if you're engaged in a argument or discussion with a difficult person, if it's a family member that you enjoy their company with most of the time, just let them talk. Don't even bother getting into it because you'll find the more you come up with logical arguments or reasons that go against what they believe, they will continue to be defensive and annoying, and so on. And it's not worth your energy or time. If it's a friend, this goes back to what I said in another segment. Is are they? Do you really want them as your friend anymore? If yes, then just let them carry on, and otherwise, feel free to cut them out. One technique I've learned is if people are either insulting you or saying something about you or whatever, one technique I've learned that works is just agree with them. Just say, "Yeah, you're right." And if they keep talking, if they say five more or 10 more things about you, just keep saying, "Yeah, you're right," and they'll eventually give up, or whatever. And like I said, if it's a friend or family member, even a colleague, whatever, just nod your head. Uh huh. Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. 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 I understand. And that'll eventually should diffuse the situation. Otherwise, before things escalate, it's good to walk away. For example, if somebody doesn't want to share a bench with you in the locker room, instead of getting into it or pushing their things out of the way, it's better just to pick your stuff up and go somewhere else that's more free because it's not worth it. Um, what else? Um, I guess the one piece of advice I learned from a long time ago in work situations, it's best not to discuss politics, religion, or sex. And it still holds true, sadly, today in 2013. If you're dealing with a difficult colleague, try and diffuse the situation. If it's somebody you closely work with, try and diffuse it as best you can. If not, you can go to the manager or whatever and say, this is what's happening. Um, you don't want to lose your job. Maybe you do. Maybe it's not worth being there anymore. Maybe it's a sign. If it's somebody who's just in another department who overheard you talking about your favorite sports team, and then they come along and say, "Oh, they're not a good team. They suck. Whatever." Just nod your head instead of getting into an argument. Um, as far as with strangers in the stores, if people bump into you or don't want to move, or just wait patiently as hard as it is and move around them. Um, you never know. I heard a story recently about this double amputee in a wheelchair who had a service dog. He wasn't on a leash at Walmart, and people were complaining that the dog was loose running around. And the manager came up to him and said that if you could please put your dog back on a leash, that's making some people uncomfortable. Otherwise, you'll have to leave. He takes a gun out and shoots him 4 times. Luckily, the guy's hopefully still alive. You never know. It's just not worth it. And if somebody stole your parking space somewhere, just move on to the next one, as annoying as it is. One thing that is really annoying for me is if people at work or whatever give you a task to carry out, you carry it out to the letter, and you warn them that I know this client or whatever, they might not like this protocol, but they still want you to carry it out. They say, okay, fine, and then if they come back to you a week later or 2 weeks later and say, how come they're mad with what I told you to do? Just tell them I told you that this client is very particular, and I did everything you said, and it sucks it didn't work out. Let's try and fix it. And if they're still not willing, well, you can complain or whatever about this person's attitude. But even that's not even worth it, complaining. Just nod your head and walk away. And if it gets to a point where it's causing you stress in your life, if 1 year, 5 years, whatever go by, you might wind up with a burnout or something. I'm not saying everybody will, but it's possible, because those are the types of stresses that are nuisances in your life, and they're not worth living with. As far as letting things go, sometimes no matter how damaging it is to your ego, you just got to look at yourself and say, is it worth risking my life or what I have now in my life for this stupid incident? No. And it is hard sometimes, believe me. But whatever the scenario is, it's better just to let it be and carry on with your life. And they may think they've won, and you might even think that they're thinking that, but don't think that way. As hard as it is, they probably are thinking that, yeah, I beat this I got this guy, or I got this girl. But just say to yourself, you know what? Let them carry on, and they might wind up in their own trouble one day, but I'm safe, and that's the best thing I can tell you, because it's not worth it. I know I've said that many times so far in this video. It's just not worth it. It's not worth your life, your energy, your time. Just carry on, and I'll get into workplace harassment and bullying in another video, but this is just a basic these are some basic steps you can use to deal with difficult people in different scenarios and different categories of people in your lives. Anyway, I hope this has been helpful, and I wish you all a good day. Take care, and I'll see you again soon.